Hey guys, welcome back to CLOWNFISH TV. This is Kneon. I'm here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And we're going to talk about the Rey that could have been.
Yep. The diverse Rey.
We could have had a more diverse choice for Rey. Jessica Henwick, who played Collen Wing in Iron Fist and Defenders, tried desperately to get the part of Rey, and she was shot down by Disney.
You mean we could have had more Asian women represented? You know, but no, it's because all the fans are racist. But they're not the ones who picked who got to be Rey. They're racist.
They're racist. So this is really, really interesting because this happens right after, you know, they sort of marginalized Rose Tico in the Rise of Skywalker. So now, you know, we've got some questions. We could have had a more diverse cast, and she's pretty scrappy. Collen Wing is pretty scrappy. That to me would have been more indicative of a girl that was left on a junk planet.
I could see her for Rey more like Daisy Ridley. I mean, I'm not trying to throw shade at Daisy Ridley, but a lot of times she comes across as being very stiff.
It's a privilege.
You know,
Yeah.
They come across being very stiff. And, you know, I know as another white woman, yeah, the privilege stick can, you know, make you stiff. But they could have had, you know, her, and she was, you know, really good in Iron Fist. And she does, yeah, you said she's scrappier.
She's scrappier,
She just seems like she'd be more believable as the character to me.
Yeah, so what's going on here, Disney? We're going to talk about that.
Because they're racist.
Oh.
No, they are. I just thought it was funny because everybody's throwing shade at everybody doesn't like Rose Tico. It's because you're racist. But we almost got an Asian actress
as the lead.
I know, and they didn't.
They didn't do it.
If we're racist for liking Rose Tico, does that make them racist for not casting her? I'm just, you know, questions.
We have a lot of questions. Lucasfilm. So before we get into it, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. We're at about almost 89,000 subs. Hoping for 100,000 soon.
So close.
Now, Jessica Henwick, you know, I was not a huge fan of Iron Fist, but she was one of the better parts.
I liked her
of the show.
Yeah.
She actually could act. You know.
Yeah.
She seemed to know what she was doing. She did seem scrappy. That's the biggest complaint I had about Rey. Well, not the biggest complaint, but one of the many complaints I had about Rey in the sequel trilogy was she did not seem scrappy. She did not seem like a girl who had been abandoned on this harsh junk world most of her life. You know, she seemed too prim and proper.
She seemed too uptight.
Yeah, she was too uptight.
I don't know. I've always thought that. But I could have seen her doing it. But she said she auditioned for 6 months because she wanted to play Rey so bad. She said, oh my God, dude, that was effing 6 months. It was a long one. And then, so she wanted to be Rey, but then they put her in as Jess Pava instead. They created her, the X-Wing pilot, to get her in. So she didn't get Rey, but she got that.
She got to be an extra.
So she got marginalized.
She did. She got less screen time than Tico did in the Rise of Skywalker.
I just think it's funny because, you know, it's just keeps setting them up, and it's just. So
I know
funny.
they just keep they just keep digging themselves a deeper hole here. But JJ said, "Hey, I want you to be in the film, so I'm going to write a character just for you. I'm going to give you a pilot that's in the film for like 30 seconds, and that's how Jeff Pava was created." So according to Henwick, the longevity of the process took a mental toll on her.
I'm sure it did. That's a long time.
She said, so it was a very, very long experience. It's hard because I've been doing this long enough to know that you go in, audition, and put it to the back of your mind. You don't think about it, and you don't get emotionally invested. This happens with like pitching projects and stuff too.
Yeah.
The same thing. It's basically you pitch it and you walk away and you hope they call someday.
Yep.
After 6 months, you can't help but desperately want it. I'm such a big JJ fan, so I was a mess at the end of those 6 months. Oh man. The 27-year-old would go on to play, Jess Pava, young resistance pilot who flew alongside Poe Dameron. So
no one shipped them. I'm just saying.
Nobody shipped them.
Gosh, there's so many jokes in this. I can't even. But so basically, everybody who watched the Last Jedi who didn't really care for the Kelly Marie Tran's character of Rose Tico, which has nothing to do with the actress herself. It was the character. Got accused of racism, bigotry, all kinds of, there's finally Asian representation, and you're just, how dare you? We could have had an Asian Rey. And she's half Asian. She's half Chinese because her mom's Chinese. But we could have had.
Yeah.
and you know, a Rey that was not, you know, a white woman.
Yeah, you know what happened here, Lucasfilm? What happened? Because I'm gonna be honest, again, not throwing shade at Daisy Ridley, but I think she would have.
She would have fit the character better.
I think she would have fit the character better, and she actually can fight. We've seen her fight. You know, I think it would have been more believable that she was on this junk planet learning to kick ass than Daisy Ridley's Rey. Now, of course, you know, there's been a lot of complaints about marginalized Asian women lately.
But they marginalized that one to a 30-second X-Wing pilot spot when she could have been Rey.
I know,
I'm just saying.
That's kind of like, I mean, I understand, you know, that this kind of stuff happens, but it's like you can't go on about, you know, the fans throwing shade at Kelly Marie Tran for being Asian when you had the opportunity to hire an Asian woman to play the lead.
I know.
And you didn't do it.
You didn't do it. And now, you know, I'm just saying, you know, they're going about, well, she was the first Asian character, and it's like, well, they could have had Rey be Asian.
Yeah,
I'm just saying.
But then they couldn't retroactively. Well, they could have. They technically could have. They could have retroactively somehow made her Palpatine's granddaughter. But I don't know. Geez, guys, I thought you were more progressive.
I just think it's funny. The irony here is just astounding.
The irony that you could. Now everyone's complaining that Tico's been backburned. It's so funny because the story from Lucasfilm was that the fans hated Tico and the fans can go take a flying leap, but we're going to marginalize Tico ourselves.
And blame it on Carrie Fisher's footage.
Blame it on the deceased Carrie Fisher.
Well,
for why there was her footage, why there wasn't more Rose Tico in this movie. Even though before that we sidelined her to just, you know, watching the computers at HQ.
Yeah, because they needed a main cast member to be with Leia. Sure, they did.
Because that's not stereotypical at all, is it? Have the Asian people be IT?
Be the man behind the woman in the chair.
The woman in the chair. That's not stereotypical at all.
Not at all. But you know, I just think it's hilarious because we could have had a woman of Asian descent for Rey, and she would have been good at it. I have no doubt of this.
I think she would have been. I really do. I think she's, like I said, I did like her in Iron Fist, even though I didn't care for Iron Fist that much. I thought it was a snooze fest, but I thought Collen Wing was one of the better parts.
But here's the good news. We're going to get her in Matrix 4 and Godzilla vs. Kong.
Okay, that's kind of cool.
So I'm happy about that. I'm kind of excited. I'm not too sold on, well, Squid King's a huge Godzilla fan. He's not too sold either on the Mecha Godzilla for this next one.
Yeah, it just looks like weird. A giant skeleton with the robot parts on it.
But you know, hey, maybe when we see it on screen, it'll be a lot, you know, something that'll translate better.
That's what they always say. That's what they said about Transformers too. They're like, yeah, we know these robot designs are god awful, but when you see them move, you'll fall in love with them. And guess what? Nobody did.
Yes.
So they had to go back to G1 for Bumblebee.
I'm trying to be positive here.
Yeah.
But we got her coming up in a couple movies in the next year. But she could have been Rey.
She could have been Rey.
She could have.
And you know what? She is of Chinese descent. You might have actually, Disney, you could have finally cracked the Chinese market with Star Wars.
Might have had a little bit of a shot of it.
If you had a Chinese lead in Star Wars, and you blew it.
Yeah, I just can't wrap my head around this. After all the shade they threw at the fans for not liking Rose, mostly because Rose Tico's character, the character Rose Tico she's just boring. I'm sorry, and she basically is there just to say women are better than men and push Finn down. She's basically there just to drag Finn around on an adventure, you know, to redeem him for something he shouldn't have needed to redeem from.
Yeah.
That's basically her whole point.
Well, why couldn't they have just taken this X-Wing pilot and gave her a bigger part? Did she get blown up or something? I don't remember.
No, she said she lived because she's in the Poe comics.
Oh, okay.
So I'm like, why couldn't they make her a bigger part? And then, you know what I mean?
She was already there. Why do we have to make a new character?
Well, because, you know, we need representation.
No, it's because Rian Johnson had to have his OCs in there. That's why they made all new characters, even though we had other characters that were woefully underdeveloped.
I want all the articles written now from these media outlets explaining how that we were robbed in the sequel trilogy of a Asian lead for the whole shebang in the form of Jessica Henwick.
Yeah.
Because, you know, technically, I mean, she was up for the role for several months. I'm sure she did have her heart set on after 6 months. My gosh.
Yeah, I mean, she's just, I don't know, she seems really down to earth. I think she would have been a good choice. Because Rey just, you know, Daisy Ridley does seem she's too prim and too proper.
Yeah,
to
she's
be,
like, she just seems always like she's removed from the situation, you know. And there's nothing against her. It's just that usually when she plays characters, she usually plays characters that fit her, and she's great at those. But this one doesn't seem to fit her very well. I got that from the first movie on. I was like, yeah, this doesn't feel right. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
that's my new T-shirt. Does that make sense, Geeky Sparkle? Can I say that a lot?
Does that make sense?
Or to be fair, Geeky Sparkles. Can I say that a lot as well?
I saw this too. Just kind of side.
I heard
thought
about
this was interesting. What's beneath the Jawa's hood? The stuff of nightmares, and this is actually a Jawa figure from years ago, right? This is one of the Power of the Force figures.
Is it?
I believe it was one of the Power of the Force figures, and let me see here.
Who wants a naked Jawa?
I don't know. I thought they looked like rodents or something. That's what I thought. I don't know. I just thought it was interesting. Yeah, just kill them. Just pop them.
See, to me, it looks like what happens after he shoots them.
Yeah.
Right before they pop into sparkles.
Yeah. Yeah, it was these guys. Yeah, I remember seeing them in the store. And they didn't look right then. They looked like aliens.
But they had them out? I don't remember these.
Yeah, they did. They were the Power of the Force when they had
How did I miss these? I used to sell toys. I don't remember this at all.
Late 90s. They had the big 12-inch dolls.
Maybe it was later. I don't remember those.
Yeah, they're pretty horrible. Anyway, I don't know why that's an article on Comic Book Resources. Somebody actually got paid to write about somebody's photo of Jawas.
Well, they're really looking for stuff. So
yeah,
anyway.
They really are. Anyway, I think we can probably wrap this up.
I just found it interesting. Highly, highly interesting.
So, yeah, again, Lucasfilm, before you throw shade at the fandom, you might want to look in the mirror. Just saying.
Yeah, because those they don't like Last Jedi. It was because you don't like strong women. You're racist because you don't like Asian women. But we could have had an Asian lead.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Just saying. And I think she would have been good. I really do. I think she would have been really, really good. And definitely a more believable martial artist, lightsaber fighter, I think.
Scrappier person.
Scrappier.
Anyway,
we're going to wrap this up.
Yep.
We'll talk to you guys later.
Bye.
Hey guys, thanks for watching CLOWNFISH TV. Please consider supporting the channel. Go to clownfishsupport.com. That's clownfishsupport.com. And if you want to join our community, go to clownfishtalk.com. That's clownfishtalk.com. Please subscribe, ring the bell for notifications. We will talk to you next time.